world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Why does every recipe I try need 18 ingredients, including a jar of something paste I'll never use again, but will sit in my fridge for 9 months? I just want dinner in the oven, fast. That's why I love Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals. They send you fresh ingredients that are already chopped. All you do is put it all together and bake. That's it. No chopping, no weird leftovers, just delicious, easy-to-make meals. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Welcome to No Question About That. We're talking about Michael Carrick, United's interim manager. Darren Fletcher, RIP, no longer the interim. With Daniel today. How's it going?
Not bad. I mean, that Sunday, yeah, like that didn't sit right with me, I must say. And I was like, my dad called me to bitch about it this morning. I was like, well, it wasn't that bad. Because obviously we're comparing it to like shit that's really bad. But he's just like, right, but Brighton knew exactly what they were doing. So obviously, yes, Brighton reserves, actually, sort of.
Yep.
But we'll keep coming back to the same shit. You can't control the game of football without a midfield, and it doesn't matter who the manager is.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll see once Bruno settles back into number 10. Casemiro doesn't have so much work to do. Kobbie Mainoo gets up to speed and is fit, whether that helps. I mean, I think you're right that there's 2 out of 3 there are not inclined to try and control the football and more inclined to do hero ball, although I think Bruno's time in central midfield may change that a little bit. You know, I think he may have improved from that experience. We'll see. Kobbie came back looking a bit ripped, so he was told to go get stronger and he's been pushing weights. Maybe that helps.
Obviously, I could take him if I had to, just for the record.
Yeah. I never doubted it for a moment, Dan. Yeah, but what about the fighting?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so we're going to talk about Michael Carrick. It looks like they've gone through, well, it's a fairly quick process to build the interim. Sounds like they talked to Darren Fletcher, sort of, although Fabrizio Romano posted this weird thing where he said the result against Brighton had knocked Fletcher out of the race to become interim manager. I mean, if the powers that be really are making decisions based on one game, then, you know, no wonder we're in a mess.
I agree, and because I thought that I was one. If United had been impressive and beaten Brighton, would they maybe have stuck with Fletcher? Maybe, because ultimately it's all a punt. I think I'm pleased it's Carrick, not Ole, I guess, because we've seen Ole before, partly that, and also it's really different coming in after Mourinho's shat on everything, because then you just get people happy at work again and you'll see a bounce. This, as we said in the main pod the other day, this isn't that.
Yeah.
The players haven't turned it in. And so actually some tactical information is probably more helpful because it didn't feel like the motivation had gone.
Yeah.
And that feels more like what Carrick's going to do than what Ole would have done.
Well, he's going to be a coach, and I think part of the thinking appears to be that all the backroom staff went as well, and Ollie's not really a coach. He's more the orchestrator, and famously Carrick and McKenna were taking training during that 3-year period anyway, right? So it's going to be a tight team. It looks like Carrick with Steve Holland, who's got a hell of a lot of experience with England and others. Maybe
Chelsea.
Maybe Jonathan Woodgate. We can come on to talk about him and his particular levels of baggage, but he was with Carrick at Middlesbrough. I'm not sure whether any other coaches have been announced yet. We'll need a set-piece coach because obviously it's very important both defensively and attacking-wise to succeed there in the Premier League this season. So I don't know whether they're thinking about that at all, but that may well be some of the thinking about Carrick, that they actually want someone who's very hands-on because it's a tight team and can take things on straight away.
Oh, and also, what's his name? Travis Bickle. Not Travis Binion.
Binion. Yeah. Isn't Travis Bickle from
Taxi Driver?
Yeah. I was going to say, well, fucking hell, he'd get stuff done, wouldn't he?
This is just, that wasn't a Freudian slip. That's just what I want to see.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, he's got 17 games. I was trying to do a calculation. It's projections. I was looking at Polymarket and stuff like that. 61 points for 5th place, which would get a place in the Champions League. United would need 35 more points from 17 games. It's a tough ask.
Especially because how many are we getting from the next two?
Yeah, exactly. If you assume we're not getting any from the next two, it becomes 35 points from 15 games. That's a lot of victories in that time. I mean, this period over AFCON, it's totally destroyed United's chances. I mean, all those draws basically has ripped 10 or 12 points out, and just before the Everton, West Ham and stuff like that, it was ripped like 10 or 12 points away from what we could have got. It's an incredibly damaging period, and so Carrick's got a tough ask, but 6th place with 58, 59 points is possible. It really depends. It's going to be very tight. That might even get a Champions League spot because, Arsenal could well win the Champions League, or City, or Liverpool, I suppose, and then there'd be 6.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like Brentford are going to get that many points, does it? I mean, I guess Newcastle are in a bit of form now. It feels like Sunderland have peaked. So if you look at the league table now, there's Liverpool, Brentford, Newcastle, United, Chelsea. So it's like kind of that's those 4 clubs are sort of going from 4th to 7th. Is 7th Europa? Is it just 6th?
6th is guaranteed Europa.
Yeah.
Could be 7th if an English club wins the Champions League. No guarantee of that, of course. And then Europa spot also goes to the FA Cup winners.
Not to us.
Not to us, yes. and that could push down if it's a Champions League qualifying club that wins the FA Cup, then it goes to the next highest league place, not the runners-up in the cup. I believe I'm right in saying that.
Yeah, I think that is right. So, it feels like on the one hand, you look at the points, it's just like, well, we've got 1 fewer than Brentford and 1 fewer than Newcastle. So those calculations that you're coming up with, more or less the other cunts have to do that as well.
Exactly.
And they're not gonna.
And so if you lock in Arsenal and City for Champions League spots...
And Villa,
yeah, well, they're so massively outperforming their data. You just keep wondering when's it going to end?
I know what you mean, but they're 8 points ahead of Liverpool.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
That feels like enough.
So we say Villa are guaranteed 1 spot in the top 5. And
Liverpool are only 3 points ahead of us. So... beat them at home.
And still inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen, is it? But like some sort of winning one of the next 2 would be quite helpful.
It would be extremely helpful. All right, so let's talk about what Carrick... I mean, that's the prize, right? European football. That's what he needs to get. Otherwise, it's a failed experiment. And we can all go around blaming whoever we want after that. What's he going to bring? So I did a bit of research. Can't say I spent a lot of time watching Middlesbrough in the Championship. I don't know about you, Dan. Did you have some spare time on your hands to do that? But did some research on what he brings tactically after 3 years at Middlesbrough. I mean, if you look at the record cold, without any context, it doesn't look awesome, does it? 1 playoff, 1 League Cup semi and a 10th place and got fired. But there's a lot of context to that.
Yeah, like he took them from very close to the bottom to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they sold all his attackers.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Carrick is, like, because the kind of player he was, we were kind of thinking, let's hope you get the attack going nicely. But the main improvement we need to see is out possession.
Yeah,
I think.
defensively, yeah.
Yeah, but the whole team, like rest defence, off the ball, ways of... And I think he's quite into blocking up the middle. Like, he's probably a little bit more conservative than Fletcher was. But at the same time, he's definitely bought into the myth of United, so he'll know that the football has to be entertaining. Like, he'll feel that responsibility, I think.
I would imagine so, yeah. I don't know whether the attacking will look that different, right? So what he did at Middlesbrough is tend to be 4-2-3-1. Like, imagine the structure there. That's actually surprisingly difficult with his current squad at United. No wide players because Amorim and all of that. And then it would be asymmetric with one of the fullbacks pushing really high and one inverting. And you could imagine if Luke Shaw's body holds up, he would do that pushing high bit very well. Not clear that his body will hold up to that extra work. And then both Dalot and Mazraoui, I'd say, are very good inverting. I mean, Dalot's best performances have been when he does that. Because he can't defend or attack, but he's all right in the middle.
And also, if it's the left fullback that is asymmetrically high, then that helps Cunha.
Gives Cunha some space, yeah.
He's sort of the odd one out in this formation otherwise. Yeah. And I mean, I'm still like, the part of me in the attacking aspect that I wonder about is that Sesko needs service. It's very clear that the best way is wingers on their natural sides. So how are we going to make that happen?
Well, it's not.
Are we going to say, well, actually, Sesko's not going to get that kind of service, and we're going to invert the wing at the wide players, and then they'll supply the goals that Sesko doesn't. And then the other thing, and then you go further back in the team, because I'm also thinking further ahead, like, what's the team going to look like next season? And then there's part of me that's like, well, if Bruno stays, then you've got Bruno Mainu, and the other person you buy has to be physical.
Mm-hmm. If
Bruno leaves, then that sort of gives you a bit more scope to get a player like, say, Wharton. But then let's say for argument's sake, Bruno leaves, and you've got Wharton, you manage to get Wharton, and you manage to get Baleba, and then you've got Baleba and Mainu, then not many goals there.
Nope.
And I mean, obviously it's not Carrick's job to evolve the team in that way. But when I think about how he's going to put this team together now, how are you going to maximise what you've got? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Like, how are we going to serve Sesko whilst not playing Dorgu on the left wing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a live question. Absolutely, the squad looks a little bit unbalanced for a 4-2-3-1. It also looks unbalanced for a 3-4-3, of course, because there's no central midfield. So how to not have too many square pegs in round holes is the name of the game here, right? You know, part of Amorim's weakness and why he never managed to get any kind of series of results is sometimes he would have 4 or 5 players out of their normal natural position and be asking them to do something that was uncomfortable and still expecting results, right? In just an unbelievably competitive league, and he just never stopped doing that. It's just fucking mental, you know? And yeah, just still can't get over why he continued to do that. But anyway, so Carrick will have to, in modern parlance, platform as many players as possible. It's going to be difficult with Sesko because you're absolutely right. You know, we've just seen in the last 2 games, the goals he's scored, at least 2 of them came from wide areas, right? The Patrick Dorgu cross to the finish that he rolled off his right foot. What a classic Sesko goal that is. I mean, he made a brilliant run across the defender, and it's a great finish and a brilliant cross, right? And I think we thought we'd see quite a lot more than that, and we've seen barely any of it, to be honest. And then the other question, the other big question you hinted at, is Cunha. Him and Bruno looked like they were getting in each other's zones. The other day, Bruno dropped deeper in order to make up for that. I think that's a problem. I mean, you could probably fix it a little bit more by playing Bruno left and Cunha through the centre. I don't know whether that'd have an issue in terms of our chance creation, but Bruno's more comfortable in those areas. Cunha definitely is not, and he's just not disciplined either when he's asked to do that, which in a 4-2-3-1, we said it before, right? He sort of fits this formation, but it's not totally clear. You know?
It feels like he needs a bit of a change in mindset, Cunha. He needs to adjust to not being the guy through whom everything goes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the amount of times he doesn't pick a pass out in the final third when he could do and has been a bit selfish.
Yeah, we need, and there's also the switching off, the defensive switching off, because part of me is like, well, if Bruno does go, Cunha's sort of he could be a sort of a left midfield there because he's got the physical attributes and he can carry the ball, but he doesn't have the defensive discipline. Now, in theory, that should be something where the manager says, have some fucking defensive discipline. And he goes, yes, gaffer. And that's the last anyone has to say on the matter because it's not beyond him. It's not beyond him intellectually to grasp it. Track your runners, get back, run backwards and forwards. But yeah, I don't know.
That's never been him. Anyone who watched him at Wolves knows he's a pretty aggressive presser, but then leaves it, right? That's always what he's done. And I don't know that we can expect anything different from him. And we've had this question mark so many times, and we said this about Paul Pogba. Why doesn't he do defending? We said this about Marcus Rashford. Sometimes an alligator is just an alligator, and you can't, you're not going to change their fundamental nature. And I suspect with Cunha, that's not going to happen. And so you use his skills where they're best.
Yeah, there's room for all these players, and then there's competition for places, and that's good.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Part of me wonders, I think Cunha will be useful in the next 2 games because that ability to hold the ball, to take the ball up the pitch, to buy time, to win fouls is good against teams that are better than you or of similar level. I think I'd be wanting to try and get Ahmad into the team after, so I guess what I'd be thinking about is sort of Ahmad, Bruno and Bumo would be my 3. And obviously they have starting positions, but they could pop up in different places. A
lot of flexibility there.
As long as you sort out the out of possession responsibility, where if it's you, then you got to do this or whatever. Then, because the other thing about Carrick is he just for the now, or is he trying to help us have a good team next season? So you mentioned Luke Shaw. Part of me is like, nah, fuck that guy, because where are we going with Luke Shaw? Fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
So why?
Mind you, he has a contract till 2027.
Of course he does. Shut there. Why are we not playing Patrick Dorgu in as many games as we can? Because if he can get good, then that would be good.
Yeah. Although I would say right now points are more important than anything else. So you do what's important to get the points, and team development and player development is probably less important right now. Now, if we'd had a good first half of the season, that would have been a different calculation.
And I feel you, but part of me is kind of like, well, Dorgu's shown a few more signs in recent weeks of maybe not being shit.
Yeah.
Or having the potential to not be shit.
And I thought he was all right against Brighton, and I wonder whether the back 4 is a better balance for him, honestly.
I don't think Shaw's been so good that you could say, well, actually, Shaw's a necessity here. I don't really think that. So, I'm sure Carrick will play Shaw. I don't think I would. And then I guess it'll be Matsurawi or Dallo. And then if I was picking 2 centre-backs, I guess you'd have to have De Ligt at this point, because much as you're trying to hope for more progressive, pacier options, feels like we'd have more points if he hadn't got injured.
Yeah, I fully agree. And then you want a passer alongside him. And Martinez, I don't think he's been very good since he came back. He's been culpable for more than 1 goal and keeps wandering off. His passing is obviously incredibly important to United's build-up, though. He's, apart from Bruno, he's the best passer in the team, isn't he?
Yeah, so I would probably go for Heaven at this point. And I mean, I know that Martino's been out for a year, so you don't want to be too harsh, even though some of the mistakes don't feel that related to being out for that long. But at this point, I think the overall package of Heaven is better. And I mean, I'm not quite sure why it was Yoro not Heaven on Sunday. I guess it's just to give Yoro a chance. But yeah, we discussed on the main pod on Sunday that he's been disappointing. Like, this was a season where you kind of wanted to see him kick on. It hasn't really happened. Not all his fault, but the defensive instinct to like block the cross is one that he needs to fucking learn.
Yeah, he could learn something from Aiden Heaven, yeah, for sure, yeah. Just in terms of like the instinctiveness to defend. I like this time on his side, and I'm definitely not writing him off because first month of the season we were talking about how good he could be.
Yeah, he's got talent, but I guess at this point he's on the bench because we've seen better from other players.
Let's do a thought experiment since we're doing some of that right now. What if Carrick wins like 12 or 13 or 14 of his 17 games? What if he has an incredible run and United end up third or fourth because he fixes all the defensive side and we keep scoring goals? I mean, we're the second highest XG producers in the Premier League right now. So if you just cut the stupid goals out, it's quite possible. You could win 12, 13, 14, 15 games. The clamour for him to be then manager, even though they've said, hey, whatever comes, you are not the full-time manager. You are the interim. It appears to have been part of the discussion.
I think it would depend in that if you're getting one of the big guys, if you're getting Nagelsmann or you're getting Luis Enrique, then yeah, later. If you're getting Glasner, I mean, I'll do fucking time if we wait all this time to get Glasner or Southgate. I mean, that would be like a deep unhappiness.
Yeah. And look, honestly, I'm much more comfortable with Michael Carrick. He's been out of work for 6, 7, 8 months or whatever, and he had 3 years in the Championship. I'm more comfortable with him than us trying to extract Glasner or Iraola or Marco Silva from one of the Premier League clubs right now. You know, especially Glasner, not like, you know, he's done a pretty good job at Palace.
Oh, he's done an amazing job.
Just don't see the translation between what he's built at Palace and United. And I think that's part of the problem, right? You have to go, does he have all the skill sets? Does he understand what he wants to? And I know United have been shit for a couple of years, or 10, right? Depending on your framing. But we want something. We want attacking, winning football that's going to excite Old Trafford. And there's no evidence of Glasner's time at Palace that he's going to do that. It's a 35% average possession rate. You can't do that at United and get away with it, really.
And also just he's so wet.
He doesn't have the personality. Iraola's a bit different in that he's obviously got no money at all. Bournemouth, they have the smallest budget in the league and no crowds, and he's just built this kind of physical, high-energy side that's there for disrupting more technical opponents. Again, that wouldn't necessarily translate. Marco Silva, he's been around the block a little bit. I don't know that he's better than anyone else, right? You could probably pick another 50 coaches of his talent level in Europe.
He seems to be good at platforming his best players wherever he's been.
That's true. That is true, yeah, and building a side, yeah. So, anyway, just the point that I'm more comfortable with Carrick right now.
Yeah. And so people that take the piss out of United, well, they keep going for someone because he knew Fergie or whatever. And in the same way, like, Darren Fletcher got stick for saying he called Fergie. But of course he fucking called Fergie. Like, when something big happens in your life, you call people who are important to you in some way, right?
Right.
You might call your wife. I'm sure he did. You might call your dad or your mum or one of your best mates or a mentor. Yeah. Like, if I got offered a job or something, I call my agent.
Yeah.
Whatever it is as well, amongst other people.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it was just the vibes that he kind of created this, mental picture of, he's about to make love to his wife and he calls Fergie, right, should I do this or should I do this, boss? It's but totally fair that he would
similarly,
do that.
Where should a caretaker manager come from? Well, we got one from outside once before. Mm-hmm. And it was wank.
It was absolute disaster.
And we got one from inside the club, if you like, before, and it was all right.
Yeah.
But you want someone who knows what the supporters want to see, who has some kind of political capital already with the support and with the players. And so just in the same way like Madrid, okay, they've appointed Arbeloa more quickly than United have appointed Carrick, but they've still gone for someone who used to play for them. Someone wasn't even any fucking good.
Yeah. There's no evidence that he's a good manager at all. I mean, not that I track Real Madrid Castilla much. I mean, I guess, look, it's become a kind of social media stick to beat people with, hasn't it? You know, DNA. But
it's so obvious. Yes, United do have DNA, and it's not fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Try hard, play fast attacking football when you can, and win.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go.
It's so non-complex. And it's not about fairies either. It's not like sudden halves you have to play 4-4-2. No. Like Busby didn't play 4-4-2, did he?
Right.
Fergie didn't play it after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally...
Mind you, he did get the crowd chanting at him, 4-4-2, 4-4-2.
4-4-2, yeah, I remember it. It's not about... Yeah, it's about fast, attacking, skillful, physical, entertaining football.
Yeah. And look at the squad right now. They can do that. And we're talking about some lack of balance. There's some weaknesses. There's some players we'd love to get rid of course, but there's enough there that...
Can you make the rest defence good enough to be able to box teams in and keep sustaining attacks?
Yeah.
Which is something we've struggled with
forever
since Fergie, basically. Yeah. Basically. Like, can you put an opponent on the rack and keep him there? Mm-hmm. And that's a lot to do with sort of out of possession positioning. Much as we kind of hate to say it because it is that kind of minutiae of tactics that existed before minutiae of tactics existed, just wasn't really called shit in the same way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then it's, do you have someone who can keep the play ticking? Mm-hmm. The answer to which is obviously no. And I mean, there are reports that if someone who we want becomes available, Carrick can have them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had the money for Semenyo, so they're just bringing it forward from the summer. So they've got a list of players they want. If a player we want is on that list, they're just not going to do a short-term deal for the sake of it.
which is fine. That makes sense. I mean, it's just if you did give him a midfield player, it would make quite a significant difference. It's just who is that? So, like, people are saying, like journos, not as in randoms on the internet, that we're having interest in Ruben Neves, but another guy that can't run.
Not physical, can pass the ball. And what's his wage?
Yeah, like, I mean, I see it exactly in something that he's a good player and he could do that keep it ticking part, but the out of possession stuff won't be better.
Yeah, the internet tells me he earns £15 million a year, which would make him about United's best paid player. So I think we can discount that entirely, unless he was coming for the vibes. And
then there's obviously Hayden Hackney plays for Borough, knows Carrick, but Borough is second in the league. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think they're selling him. And I don't even, and again, like, unless you want him already. But the thing is, as we said, we do need two midfield players. So I guess you might accept either of those two because you're going to buy someone to go in front of them in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, if Neves was cheap, then you'd go, all right. And he might be cheap in terms of the fee because he's out of contract in the summer, but he's not cheap in terms of his wages. And so it's
and
just...
he went to Saudi at an age where he's basically at his peak, so we can be very sure he does like wages. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting challenge. Where do you think United will finish then? Like, what are we going to get? I just did it off the top of my head, zero science, Windross law, lose, and I reckon it's 59 points, which is 6th or 7th, depending on how things run.
It's not 7th. Like Brentford, Newcastle, Chelsea, they're not. So 59 points, so that's another 27.
Yeah.
Out of 17 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's 6th.
Yeah.
Which we ultimately would probably accept. I mean, if it is 59 points, it'll come with regrets, because if we do get 59 points and finish 6th, 4th, like 5th is not going to be more than like 62 or 63.
No, exactly. It's incredibly low. I think the average is 67 for 5th and like 71 for 4th or something like that. Yeah. We definitely will be looking at a lot of games where you're like, how do we throw that away?
But once we've lost the next two, we could be fuck knows where.
Yeah. Mid-table. Likely, yeah. What is Carrick going to do on Sunday then, since we're talking about the next two? City like with Semenyo scoring on his debut, mind you, it was a thumping of Exeter City. That was rather unfair, I thought. They actually took that seriously. Poor old Exeter. What are we going to do in that one? Is it block everything up, sit back, try and hit on the break?
Well, I guess the decision that will make clear what he's trying to do is Zagate or Mainu, right? Someone we know to be shit versus someone who gives you a bit less combative security. Maybe?
I guess positioning wise,
no more security.
He did a lot of fighting on Sunday. I mean, against Brighton.
I think he doesn't. It'll be okay. So this will be the team: Lamons, Dallow, Martinez, Heaven. Actually, maybe it'd be Maguire.
Might be Maguire. Yeah,
Maguire, Heaven. Fuck yeah! What a state of affairs. Maguire, Heaven, Shaw, Mainu, Bruno, Casemiro, and then
Mbumo,
Sesko, Cunha.
Yeah, sounds about right. Heaven, Martinez. That'll be a question on that one, and the makeup of the two central defenders, I think, is the clearest one. I mean, Carrick can't have seen anything of Ugarte and think, I respect this guy. I mean, Carrick's the anti-Ugarte, isn't he? So we could do with Carrick in this midfield right now, I tell you that. Prime Carrick, not 44-year-old Carrick. I don't think that'd be much good. Although, could it be worse than Ugarte?
Sometimes you wonder, he's come back to the club and we haven't fucking replaced him since he retired in 2018. My dad was like, can you name the team that played in Carrick's last game?
That was against Watford, wasn't it?
Against Watford, yeah. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, we've had some absolutely dreadful dickheads.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
I know this stuff takes time, but should he not have been taking training yesterday? I mean, was it the case that there wasn't training yesterday?
No, they'd have had a warm-down session, yeah.
He should be walking them through shit immediately, not negotiating a contract somehow. Leave your agent to do that. You say this and we're obviously getting to an agreement here, and you go and do some fucking work. But
yeah, well, they will have it's Saturday, isn't it, not Sunday, the City game, lunchtime Saturday, so they'll have I guess Fletcher will have taken training today, and the Carrick will be around on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do the sessions. Fletcher and Carrick get on all right. I mean, Ollie famously doesn't get on with Fletcher. I wonder whether that came into the thinking.
I didn't know that. Is that true? I didn't know.
Yeah, apparently they don't particularly get on. And I said famously. That's probably not famous. Since you normally have many more nuggets of footballing facts and history than I do. I do wonder what role Fletcher will take in this. Is he going straight back down to the under-18s, or is he going to be part of the coaching staff?
He was offered part of the coaching staff, and he said no.
Right.
Although one thing I will say about Carrick that I got from high up at the club some time ago when he was coached the first time was that they didn't think that intellectually he had what it took to be a manager of United. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't, obviously don't know the guy, so I hadn't evaluated him in that way, but that was definitely the view, in senior levels of the club previously.
As in, not the capacity to do the detailed work of a coach, or the personality.
No, I guess just not bright enough. In the sense that you need a certain level of intellectual spark to be able to bring people with you. It's not about whether you got good GCSEs or whatever, but if you think about all the people that have been good managers, one thing you wouldn't say about any of them is he's a thick cunt. Right?
No, that's right. Yeah, because the level of detail you need to have, and capacity.
So the level of detail, the ability to communicate, to simplify complexity, or to just give simple instructions, to read people, to read all of those things. Yeah. So that was, but at the same time, people that know Carrick well, really thinks he's bright. So that he literally said that about him. And he's, I guess, one of those sort of reserved people with strength of character and opinions.
Rooney,
which is not the kind of classic football man archetype, but
no, not at all. quiet man, isn't he? Very reserved personality as well, apparently. So Rooney was on a podcast the other day, basically begging to be part of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like him back just for the vibes. I don't know if he's a good coach. I suspect he's probably not. Right?
They also, I read it, that when they used to play computer games or whatever, Carrick's name was Havoc. Which reminded me that Vidic's name was Arkan. Which is like a real fucking head in hands moment when I read that. It was just, oh my goodness.
We didn't talk about Jonathan Woodgate, who is reportedly part of the backroom staff. He is obviously a long-time Leeds connection there. Dirty, filthy. and also involved in that thing with Lee Bowyer in 2001 where a kid was beaten up in what appeared to be a racial attack. He was not convicted of that. He was convicted of a fray, which I was never quite sure what a fray is. It's because it's not GBH.
No, yeah, like it's a ruck without damage, without serious damage, except someone was damaged. Like,
yeah,
we don't know what happened. I don't suppose, so we can't evaluate him on that basis. It didn't look good.
No,
I doubt he'd be getting a lift of training off Michael Dubry.
Nope.
It didn't look or sound good, but maybe he didn't do it. Like, I mean, the law couldn't be sure that he did it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's hard to take that out because it was such a big deal at the time and so unpleasant, but assume he didn't do it. Obviously, there's the Leeds aspect. No one really wants that. But then at the same time, if you do take that out too, he was a really good player, a really intelligent player also.
Yeah, whose career was probably held back through injuries, mostly, yeah.
Definitely will have things to tell our centre-backs that will help.
You know, as always with these sort of controversies in football, it's hard to separate the man from his actions, of course, but he was not found guilty of a racist attack. It was a racist attack, but he was not found guilty of that. If that's clear, I don't know that's always the bar, and it shouldn't be the bar for representing United. He was put up by Leeds in one of the most cynical football club things ever as being their spokesperson for Kick It Out after that, which was interesting choice there, Leeds. So anyway, it looks like he might be part of the coaching staff. That's part of his history.
And one of the great debuts as well, when he made his debut for Real Madrid, he scored for both sides.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, one of those weird transfers in the early 2000s, Jonathan Woodgate.
It was one of those transfers when he leaves Leeds that reminded you just how much we had our pants pulled down unnecessarily for Rio. In that Leeds were ailing at the time.
Yeah.
If they hadn't have got 26 million plus add-ons or whatever the Rio fee was, they might have gone to the wall.
Yeah.
But it was obvious to anyone, like, I mean, if you read Red Issue at the time, let's say, you knew that Leeds were fucked. It's what we gave, I mean, obviously Rio was worth money, but we should have been able to get him for a very, very significantly less because Leeds were desperate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, Michael Carrick, 17 games to save us.
I think, was it 17 games from glory, he said, when they were going for the league and the European Cup?
Right.
And then there was a banner that said 17 miles from greatness, that was what it was. 17 games from greatness. And then there was a 17 miles from greatness banner at Anfield subsequent to that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, all right. Write yourself into the history books for a second time, Michael Carrick, by doing that or something like that. Or maybe it'll just all be forgotten because it all goes to shit.
No, it already is shit. It can't go to shit.
Well, it can go more to shit, Dan.
They're degrees of shit.
It can re-shit.
Interesting. Shit reincarnated.
Re-shitified. All right. Very good. Thank you very much. Everyone, I've got a note on my screen here that says, remember CTAs. So hit the subscribe button in your podcast app so you get this in your feeds. Share it, like it, leave a comment on Spotify. Rating and a review on Apple always helps as well. Thanks a lot. You may have noticed we're no longer posting these on YouTube. Having a rethink about what we do there. Back one day, probably, maybe. Anyway, we'll see you all after United 5, City 0 at the weekend. Come on, you Reds.
Carrots.
know the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Para mi familia siempre estoy en mi mejor momento, por eso también quiero lo mejor en mi cocina, y eso significa solamente huevos de Eggland Best. Siempre tienen un sabor tan fresco y delicioso, con 6 veces más vitamina D, 10 veces más vitamina E y 25% menos grasas saturadas que los huevos comunes. Entonces, ¿por qué darle menos a tu familia cuando pueden tener lo mejor? Eggland's Best. Mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.